Springfield and such extensive damage there, Ed. Every time we see another shot with you, it's just extraordinary.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at a car behind you that looks buried under trees or whatever.
Actually, that car doesn't look too badly damaged, Liz, which is amazing. They can't move it right now because there are a number of trees and limbs and branches in its way. But the car itself looks okay. You know, you can't take two steps without seeing something that you don't expect to see. Now, what is this? This is wood. Upon further inspection, thanks, Robert. Look, this is a piece of roof. This is a piece of copper. This is a roof. A roof for grand. Let it down. I'll show you this side here. This is another piece of copper. So. This is a roof from somewhere, but if you look up on the school building, it doesn't appear that it's missing. Again, that you can see the crack that's there, but you can't tell that it's actually missing a roof. There are pieces of debris everywhere, the origin of which is a significant question tonight. And one of the areas that was stricken hardest was Westfield, and that's where News Center 5's Sean Kelly was today. Sean?
And for the people in Westfield, this tornado lasted about 40 to 45 seconds based on how they described it to us. And you can only imagine what that time was like. They said they were in their cars and they literally just froze as pieces of wood, trees were flying all over the place. If you see this car back here, there are similar cars in Westfield. The back window here is knocked out. And as I said, people just kind of froze in their cars, really not knowing what to do, as trees all around them kind of twisted and the bark was just ripped off of a lot of these trees. And then once it stopped, they had to kind of survey the damage, and they realized they really couldn't get too far because there are so many trees that are down in Westfield. Not as much structural damage, but it's going to take a lot of cleaning up for them. Home video taken by James Johnson Corwin shows the start of a tornado that hit Westfield.
You heard the popping of the things, and all of a sudden you're seeing everything going flying around and the trees starting to come down.
Other YouTube video shows the actual tornado. The two hardest areas hit in Westfield, Shaker Heights and Birch Bluff. What was it like seeing trees coming down?
Scary as all hell. It was very scary, only because you didn't have anywhere to go. And you didn't know what was going to land on your car and what wasn't.
Trees are down in every direction. Streets are blocked. Homeowners can't reach their damaged property. At least 2 schools have roof damage. Downed trees kept workers from reaching the buildings quickly. Those final images that you were looking at, that's a house in one section of Westfield where the entire house is covered by a very large tree. It was a little bit difficult for us to even see because at night there is no power in this area, and it was very hard to see how extensive the damage really is. So by the time the sun comes up, we'll know a lot more. But there is a lot of this throughout Westfield. Heather and Liz, back to you.
All right, Sean, thank you. Kelly Tuthill is live at the MEMA bunker right now in Framingham. And Kelly, have people started to relax a little bit now, or are they just ramping up for what's to come in the next 24 hours?
I wouldn't say they're relaxed here. I would say that they're very much active and working. The place is bustling tonight, people just bringing in food. So if that's some indication of the night that's ahead, I think it's going to be a busy one. Is that right, Peter Judge? There's no calm down situation here. This is high alert.
Right. At this point, the phones are still in there ringing. We're still getting requests from local communities. Obviously, it's down a notch from the daylight hours, and we expect once the sun comes up tomorrow, it'll ramp way back up again.
And the focus, obviously, in the Springfield area and many other communities, right?
Absolutely. We're dealing with at least 19 communities that reported either touchdowns of tornadoes or reporting extensive damage. And we tend to think as the day progresses tomorrow, that number will expand.
You have a request to the public tonight. You don't want people to go down and see the damage for themselves. You'd rather have them watch it on Channel 5 or some of the other stations.
Absolutely. We don't want folks being tourists out there. You're just going to get in the way of the folks who are trying to do the work, trying to save lives, trying to make things whole again. And also, you're going to be putting yourself in danger because a lot of the driving is going to be very poor, and there's going to be a lot of live wires that are going to be down. So the disaster part hopefully is over. We don't want you to become a statistic.
And any update on any of the earlier information that you can share with the viewers at this hour?
Well, at this point, we're only aware of, again, 4 fatalities, 2 in West Springfield, 1 in Springfield, and 1 in Brimfield. So that number hasn't changed. And we're still not aware of the number of serious injuries at this point, but that's a number which we'll get as the day progresses tomorrow, I'm sure.
And do you have a sense of if there's many people missing? Are there search and rescue efforts going on at this hour?
Well, through this afternoon, I know state police are out there assisting local police, and they're doing a lot of door-to-door checks, if you will, looking in areas where people should be or should not be. But in that regard, we're not aware of them finding a lot of folks. So that's probably a good thing, if you will.
And from what I'm getting the sense of at this hour, the deaths that we've had were structural things, a car accident, a car toppling over, a damaged building, that sort of thing?
Well, we don't know specifics on that, but we were under the impression that they are, storm-related relative to things falling down, and that's what, kills people with tornadoes, is being hit with the debris.
Thank you very much, Peter Judge. We'll stay talking with you throughout the night with your important updates. Thank you. And I can tell you, I did talk to the fire marshal before he left here tonight, and he told me in Brimfield, at least, the situation with the fatality there, he was involved in it, he was out in Brimfield today, was that it was a seasonal motel, and it partially collapsed on the victim out in Brimfield. So in the one other case, we had heard it was a car that had toppled over on a person. So again, 4 people dead tonight, and unclear if there are many more people missing. I think when we get to daylight tomorrow, we'll get a better sense of the big picture here. For now, we're reporting live in Framingham at the bunker. I'm Kelly Tuthill, News Center 5.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. And obviously all of our attention this afternoon and evening has been focused on the severe weather moving through our area, but we don't want to forget that there was also a Stanley Cup final game that was played this evening. Mike Lynch, what happened in that game?
Well, I'm sure the Bruins, if they were aware of what was going on back here, would have bring a lot of joy to some people, just some temporary respite for them. But the Bruins lost with 18.5 seconds to go tonight. This thing looked like it was headed to overtime, but a foul up defensively in the zone resulted in Vancouver picking up the puck and scoring the winning goal. Tim Thomas, absolutely spectacular tonight. Remember, he had a shutout in game number 7, shut out the final 10 minutes of game number 6 down in Tampa, and shut out the Vancouver Canucks for more than 59 minutes tonight. Absolutely brilliant, 33 saves. But here's what happened. Watch number 17. Pass right over here to Hansen. Hansen throws it to Rafi Torres. No chance for Tim Thomas. 18.5 seconds to go. There's Kessler, and Kessler hits Hansen. And watch this.
Everywhere we've been tonight, and people are traumatized. They hardly know really, what the damage is, because by the time, they start to get out with the chainsaws, or the backhoes and move things out of the way, we get another big storm cell, and everybody would take cover again and again.